Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new season of Champions of the Future's World Touring Car Championship here on RaceSpotTV as drivers and teams once again take on a battle to try and get themselves to the top of the standings. Ashley Sutton won last time out, but we reset the standings, get ourselves ready for a brand new season. And calling race number one will be Johnny Simon and Alex Simpson. Over to you, Johnny.
Welcome everybody to the wonderful Brands Hatch circuit. Thank you very much, Will, for the warm welcome, as well as Alex Simpson alongside me. And Alex, we look at this circuit, 3.9 kilometers, 2.4 miles and 9 turns. Absolutely historic, especially that turn one, the very world famous Paddock Hill bend. I mean, it's just one thrilling corner going downhill through there.
Yeah, fantastic track, such a great challenge, and like you say, some iconic corner names. And yeah, I think last season we had some great battles around here, and I think it's going to be exactly the same again this season. So just qualifying's just starting to shape up at the moment. Won't be long, I think, until we have a finalised grid. But yeah, great season last time out, and I'm really looking forward to calling the action again for this season.
Yeah, the track, I mean, lots of historic corners that we talk about. We even have the Hawthorns and Westfield bends at turn 5 and 6, using the GP circuit this afternoon, the full length of the Brands Hatch. So I think these key Optimas will certainly get their money's worth, I think, with that, if I'm not mistaken. And well, quali's already completed, and we'll get the grid sorted very shortly. And for now, Alex, though, these key Optimas, I mean, around a track like this, they're so much suited to the Brands Hatch circuit. I mean, every corner suits these British club cars.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is pretty much a perfect track and car combo. Very similar to sort of a touring car in so many aspects. But yeah, they just that back straight, you can just about get enough of a draft to get alongside. So it does make for some exciting racing in that final two sectors there.
Well, hopefully get the race underway very shortly here for you all, and I think we are just switching over to the race now. So on our screen now, the grid, and we have Ashley Sutton on pole position, away from Robert Fagg. He's alongside him in second place. On the second row, it's Michael Hall and Sylvian Pomeradi on the second row, that is, and then on the third row, it's Russell Laidler and Ben Palmer, followed by Alan Tessier, Dan Hunt, Alexander Chaudron, Stephen Burke rounds out our top 10. And very shortly, the lights will go off. And, well, the rest, Alex, your expectations for this race. 20 minutes, and we should see some certain close racing.
Yeah, this first race, always very close. Next race, obviously, reverse grid, it's going to spice it up a lot. This, obviously, season, we've got a rolling start here. So it's going to take a little while for the guys to parade around here. So should keep things just a little bit more interesting, a little bit close. We've seen a few huge crashes last season, so hopefully, yeah, everybody's going to survive this opening lap. Yeah,
and I think rolling start is certainly helped out very well, so we'll avoid those incidents. Well, now we'll head over to a commercial and get the start of the race over very shortly for you. So this is RaceSpotTV's broadcast of the Champions of the Future.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing.com, has officially begun.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here waiting for the rolling start of the Champions of the Future Kia Optima WTCC race from Brands Hatch, and Alex Simpson alongside me. I'm Johnny Simon, and we look at this start, Alex. I mean, the key is obviously to get out of incidents, but as well for some drivers in those back few rows, they really have to make their way up through the field in the early stages. It's not the easiest track to overtake, but I mean, if you're smart and you can get it done, it's certainly possible.
Yeah, not easy to overtake, but interestingly, I think drivers only got 20 minutes, so going to be quite forceful. There's going to be a lot of shoving here and there, I'm sure, a few bump and runs. So we're going to have to keep an eye out, like you say, drivers trying to come in through the back. New faces into the series this season as well. Definitely quite a lot. Great to see. Huge turnout as well for this opening round. So back over to you, Johnny. Take us away for round one.
Well, we wait. The drivers will see the safety car pull in, and we'll wait for the green flag, which goes green right now. The drivers head towards the first corner, already seeing lots of action and a big spin as well. That's Russell Laidley spun off into the wall, and he's come back and fed onto the circuit. Big accident in the back, but then we go back to the front of the track for the lead. I think that's Ashley Sutton already, who's currently leading away from Robert Fagg. So actually Robert Fagg's in second place. Actually, we have Martin Johnson. The timing's really everybody. Lots of incidents in that start, Alex.
Yeah, huge crash there. It just looked like someone just got turned around there, and they're bouncing back onto the track from the Armco. And yeah, unfortunately, it's just that's collected a lot of different people in that crash. So let's hope they can get back onto the track, because of course they want that reverse grid. So they can have a good opportunity for next race, but still not their way. They want to start their season.
No, certainly not. And we have at the front right now, it's still Ashley Sutton. So the replays at the start already, you can see, I think that was Ben Palmer. No, it was actually was it Russell Ladia, who was pretty much one of the biggest victims of the incidents as well. And as well as looking at Ashley Sutton still in the lead, not comfortably though, because right behind him is Jean-Christophe Godard already. A wonderful start from him. And come to the end of the first lap already, and we've seen incidents. We said we needed to avoid them with a rolling start, and we just didn't get that at all.
Yeah, quite surprised. I knew people wanted to make moves very quickly, but didn't even get down to turn one. So yeah, new season, but we've seen this plenty of times before, so no quarter being given out there at all. And I expect that to continue throughout this season. But yeah, Ashley Sutton away. He's got his teammate behind him at the moment, so they're looking pretty comfortable out there right now. Those guys obviously very quick last season. Robert Fagg sitting in third place at the moment, and we've got Alan there in fourth place. So yeah, like I say, a few new faces showing their pace up there now as well. So yeah, Ben Palmer, a returning driver as well. So just 2.7 seconds covered the top six as they crossed the line.
Wow, and well, that's very close between these drivers. So obviously, it's going to be difficult to overtake, as we know, as they head towards turn 5, Hawthorne's Bend. The leaders come through fast sweeping corners, and then through 6 as well. That's Westfield Bend. Very double, it's a bit of a double apex as well. You can see, though, in the front, Ashley Sutton is currently struggling. He's losing time to Michael Hall behind, and this is not going to be easy. Oh, Ashley Sutton has a major spin, and that's going to allow Michael Hall into the front, into the lead. And wow, so Ashley Sutton, they're already succumbing to the pressure, and he could as well fall more positions.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be able to hold on from Robert here, get the draft, of course, of his teammate, so should hold on to that second. Not quite sure what happened to Sutton there, but his teammate capitalised on that, so we know Ashley's so quick there. He'll want to fight back, but Robert Fagg's having a look up the inside, just a little bit too far back to make a move this time.
Oh, he's very close, though, to the back of that Kia Optima in front. That is Ashley Sutton and Robert Fagg battling for second and third. You can see Ashley Sutton, though, he carries so much more apex speed than some of the other drivers around him. So tactically, that will help when he needs to defend positions going into corners.
Yeah, Ashley's so good on the brakes. That's one thing we've seen every season that he drives this Kia. He's so good. So many late moves that he manages to pull off as well. Really catches drivers by surprise with how late that he can brake.
They head towards now turn 5, Hawthorne's Bend once again, and look at Ashley Sutton. He wants that lead back from Michael Hall. This is where, the next corner actually, turn 6 is where he had that half spin. He has a bit of a poor exit. See if he can contain the car in a straight line this time. He does exactly that. And we go through the field a little bit. Everybody's still sort of battling with each other now. No real huge passes at the moment. And I think already in this mid-pack, we look at strategy. You just want to get a good position, finish well in this race, and then make sure that you finish well on the next reverse grid for 35 minutes.
Just looking a little further back at the moment, Steve Hefford. He's in the right middle of the hornet's nest at the moment. He's got 3 Pete Newman media cars just wanting to try and get around him at the moment. So, yeah, he's got, he can't really go anywhere. It just looks like he's tucked up behind Steve Burke there, and he's got the little bit of draft. So, just not happening at the moment for Hefford. But, yeah, great battle between those 6-7 cars now.
Oh, look at Steve Hefford, though, up the inside, I think. And yes, he pulls the move off. Almost a bit of contact. There is contact in front. And that's Alexander Chaudron. Oh, and that's going to allow, I think that's Pete Newman in front. So Pete Newman benefits, and he gains 2 positions in that second corner. All because of Steve Hefford's little tap in front. So Steve Hefford in a lot of battles already. And luckily, though, Alex, he was able to keep that car together in turn 2.
Yeah, I thought for a minute he was going to get slowdown penalty through Graham Hill Bend there. He took a lot of grass there, but managed to avoid that. So still sort of holding on roughly to his position at the moment.
Well, Robert Plumley behind is stuck, and he can't get past these 2. And that's, I think, Steve Hefford in 2 cars in front of him at least. Look up the inside now. No position swaps there, so they're going to settle in. Oh, a bit of gravel touching. They're still battling on. This is absolutely amazing now, heading towards turn 7. Oh, a bit of contact.
Robert Plumley, one of the most improved drivers of last season by a long shot. He definitely wants to get a move on at the moment. Not used to this sort of P11, P12 where he is right now, so he's definitely going to want to make a move. Let's keep an eye on these guys for sure throughout this race.
Well, as they head towards the end of the... I think this is 13 and a half minutes to go. Yes, it is. So Steve Hefford dropped a couple of positions that lap up the inside. Oh, look at that. Wow, what a move. Absolutely fantastic. Side by side through the first corner of Paddock Hill Bend, and now through turn 2. Brakes very late. Steve Hefford having to defend heavily from Tom Stanley behind, and Tom Stanley not giving up on that position. Almost around the outside. Cannot do it. He'll have to settle in for P11, that is. So for another lap, I don't think he'll be able to make a passing maneuver stick unless he goes up the inside now, and he does exactly that. Oh, a bit of contact again. Alex, very, very feisty racing between these 2, but Tom Stanley is allowed back in front.
Yeah, we're pretty much used to this. This is going to be great, and I'm sure we've got Robert Plumley now going to have to go around the outside here. Is he going to make this stick? He's got CQR trying to follow, car behind him trying to follow him around. Oh, he's still there. It's going to be another couple of corners. Oh God, little spinner there. Off in the background. I think that was up Miles. It was yeah. Miles. Just lost it there. I think he got a wheel on the grass there or something like that. He sits there and waits for all the traffic to come by before he tries to recover. So good driving after that.
Yeah, Miles Klotz unfortunately had a wheel on the grass, as you said, Alex, and that's just spun him around in the corners. Luckily, no incidents, no feeding back onto the track as we saw in the early stages of the race. Back to the lead, though. I think Ashley Sutton's completely hounding Michael Hall for this lead. Sets up a perfect line through turn 1. And now, at the exit of Paddock Hill Bend, already Michael Hall having to defend into turn 2. And look, up the inside, that's Robert Fagg. Can he make the maneuver stick? He can. And wow, they're going to go side by side again, and that's going to be through 3 and 4. Let's see if they can keep it together. Robert Fagg, though, nice racecraft, sticks it up the inside, goes for the undercut, bit of contact again between the 2, and I think he might indeed have a chance of passing him.
Yeah, great.
But although...
great switch back from Robert there. They're still side by side. He has to tuck back into the draft if he's going to make this one stick. We've got Pomerad behind him as well, and he's going to put Fagg under a little bit of pressure now.
Oh wow, I mean, this is just incredible battling by them. Incredible racecraft as well. You can see how everybody's playing the chess pieces by surprise. And sometimes you got to make sure you pass when it's least expected. And Robert Fagg doing exactly that, playing it perfectly as they head through the nice, fast sweeping corners here. Then towards near the end of the first lap already. The top 5 only separated, Alex, by 1 second. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it looks like Michael's just about able to stretch a little bit after actually come under a little bit of pressure. Ben Palmer is lurking in 5th place at the moment. I wouldn't count out Ben Palmer for a win in this first race. Got a lot of work to do, but we know he has the ability to do it.
Ben Palmer, very strong as usual, and look at his line through turn 1. They're all battling, too busy trying to fight with each other, and he takes a perfect line as we look at Ashley Sutton completely on the gravel at turn 1. And look at the different lines between every driver, Alex, through turn 2. This just goes to show that everybody has a different mindset to this race, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're all sort of playing their, like you say, playing their pieces out there. Anyone tries to make a move, they want to position their car where they can jump and try and sort of undercut them or overcut them any which way they can. But right now they're as they were, and slowly this pack is closing back in on Michael out front.
Well, the top 5 still separated by 1.3 seconds now. They're all pretty much set into a formation. As we have, I think, Robert Fagler at the moment. He's really the one who's initiating all the passing maneuvers so far, and I think it helps that Ashley Sutton is struggling in front, taking the wrong lines, running into the gravel, and that certainly helps when the driver in front is struggling. It's all to do with the pressure, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, he'll want to get the lead back, but he'll obviously need to be very careful how he does it. It's his teammate right up ahead as well, so he can't just sort of barge his way past and not really care what happens to Michael out there. So he's got to pick his moment to get past, and of course that's putting him under pressure from Robert behind. Robert is very, very quick around here. Last season as well, I just remember him banging in some awesome lap times and was able to put these CQ cars under a lot of pressure then. So he hasn't had to come through from further back this season as well, so he's really trying to stick it to him now.
Well, Ashley Sutton trying to set him up, as you said, and Michael Hall under immense pressure already. They're all going to still settle in for their positions at the moment, but as we cross halfway through the race, 9 minutes remaining, it's Michael Hall leading from Ashley Sutton. Robert Fagg in 3rd place, Sylvian Pomerado in 4th, and Ben Palmer heads that top 5 group. It's 1.1 seconds between them, and then rounding out the rest of our top 10, we have Alan Tessier, Stephen Burke, Pete Newman, Alexandre Chaudron and Tom Stanley. Only 10 seconds between that top 10. Very, very close. And you expect that in these key Optimas.
Yeah, this one thing about this car, it doesn't half make for some great racing. And pretty much every race last season we saw this kind of fierce action. And yeah, let's just, I can't wait for the reverse grid. This is already shaping up to be an excellent season. And we're only halfway through the first race.
Yeah, well, it's, we'll stay tuned for that. This is already amazing so far. Look at the top 5, as we've always mentioned throughout this race, completely Robert Fagler. He's getting impatient now. He's trying to switch his lines and trying to distract Ashley Sutton in front. Ashley Sutton's having none of it. And, well, he is losing a bit of time, though, to the leader. Look at that, Ashley Sutton. He's lost a bit of time through that last lap. So now the gap between them is 0.6 of a second. So big time loss for Ashley Sutton.
Yeah, like you say, just perhaps get a little bit distracted. Looks like Robert might be coming under a little bit of pressure. They're going to be too wide further back here, coming in there, but no dice this time. Still as they were. Ben Palmer holding on to, Ben Palmer in 5th place. Can't manage to move up one further spot.
Ben Palmer, he braked very late at the hairpin at turn 2 and tried to set up a maneuver, go for the undercut. Didn't work exactly. These cars don't have as much power as you'd think. And as they come through towards turn 5 once again, the top 2 now sort of setting into the group. There's a lap car in front that could really play into the hands of some of these drivers behind in the top 5 group. I mean, the lap cars, it's not the best situation, but you still have to be a professional racer and deal with it in appropriate circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure when the guys get right up to him, I'm just trying to see who it is at the moment. Actually, I think the CQR guys are going to be let through pretty quickly out there. So I think, yeah, it should be a problem. The guys will get out of the way as soon as they get right up to him. But yeah, one of the cars that got caught up in the earlier incident, unfortunately.
Well, 6.5 minutes remaining now, and no real position changes. We're expecting, though, in these last 5 minutes for everything to heat up. Ben Palmer's dropped a bit from the top 4 group. They're settling into the little duos at the moment. Robert Fagg and Sylvian Pomerado battling for that final podium spot. And now we have Ververke overtaking, I think that's Paul Smith. Oh, a bit of contact as well with Roy Ververke around the outside. And I think that's Sagowitz, I think. Yes, it is. So they made a bit of contact as well. Paul Smith, though, lives for another day in that 14th spot.
Yeah, Smith just, like I say, just losing a place there, drops himself down into 15th, just needs to collect himself now, otherwise he's going to come under a little bit more pressure from behind. Engine has gone. So blows the engine there in the braking, downshifting perhaps just a little bit too hard. He's going to have to get that back to the pits, but that's pretty much his race done there, Johnny.
Wow, so Roy Verke, well, he's not the best thing he can do. Reverse grid though, it's going to certainly help him out for race 2, so hopefully he has a better campaign in that second race. But so far we concentrate on the first race and we go back to the lead pack. It's very, very close now between Ashley Sutton and Michael Hall for that first position. Look at Ashley Sutton right onto the back of that Kia Optima once again. Doesn't head into the slipstream though, Alex, and I think it doesn't help significantly, but it still benefit him though to head into the back of that Kia.
Yeah, exactly. I think really just the main straight just a little bit too short to get enough of a run just on the draft alone. You can get right on the tail, but you need to get an exceptional run to get alongside. So this is why we see so many moves down into turn 2, and then of course the back straight as well. That's the best opportunity I would think Ashley might have. Last season we saw him make loads of passes down there in the reverse grid race.
Well, look at Robert Fagg. Robert Fagg's dropping positions very, very rapidly. Ben Palmer as well wants that 4th position, as well as Alan Tessier, who's caught up to the... Oh, no, that's actually a lap car, my apologies. But Ben Palmer gets in front of Robert Fagg. Robert Fagg seems to be struggling at the moment, Alex. He's dropped 2 positions in the past half a lap, and I'm not sure if there's anything wrong with that car.
Yeah, I can't see any damage on it. I don't know if he... if he made any sort of mistake or anything like that. He's trying to fight back now, but just a little bit too far back to stick his nose up the inside there.
Well, still Ashley Sutton cannot get past Michael Hall, and he's still behind since that, I think it was on lap 2 or of the liking, where Ashley Sutton had that half spin, allowed Michael Hall into the lead, and this is where he's going to pounce on him right now through turn 8. Here's Sterling's Bend, cannot get a move done, and he's got a very good exit. This is incredible now. This is the best exit he's had all race on Michael Hall in the first position. Goes for the outside line. Michael Hall has to defend. Goes for the undercut as well. I think he might have this move, or might have it done. No, he does not. They're going to be side by side across the main straight. 3.5 minutes remaining. Absolutely incredible. The battle for the lead here. Bit of contact between the two. Oh, wow. And they keep it together. And I think Ashley Sutton might have that lead. But, oh, no. I think actually Michael Hall wants a piece of it again. He's going to go up the inside, maybe. Brakes very late. And yes, oh, too close. And Michael Hall, don't tell me he's going to retake the lead. He does exactly that. Incredible racing there.
Yeah, no team orders as a little love tap comes in there from Sutton CQR. So great driving from those. This is exactly what we want to see. There's a little bit of something going on in the background. I think it's just the back marker just letting traffic through there.
Oh, and that's just allowed Silvio and Pomerati back to the top 2 group. So if they're teammates, so they're battling, they're having fun, but with 2.5 minutes remaining, it could be worth it to at least settle into a position, because they could give up the win to another team here, and that's not what you want to do. But Ashley Sutton regaining the lead after the first lap, and I think, though, but Silvio Pomerati is definitely going to attack in that number 22.
Oh yeah, he's looking very racy right now, and I think Sutton really didn't do any kind of aggressive moves until they had about 1.5, 2 second gap there as they were all filtering through that traffic. But yeah, now we'll see if he's going to attack Michael the same as he did before. I feel that, like you say, he's probably going to consider just settling in. Maybe second place will do. I'm not really sure that's the way Sutton drives though.
Well, Robert Fagg's got in front of Ben Palmer, so Robert Fagg jumps up to 4th place. Look at the top 2 again, though. Michael Hall having to defend from Ashley Sutton. Ashley Sutton will go for the undercut. Michael Hall takes a terrible line through turn 1, and now once again, side by side, Silvio Pomerati wants a piece of the battle as well. Will he pounce? Will he wait? He waits, tries to go up the inside, tries to shove Ashley Sutton through the corner, and now side by side once again as they go towards Graham Hill Bend, turn 3. Oh, very close between them. Ashley Sutton, though, I think he could indeed undercut Michael Hall once again. We'll see if he can get it done into turn 4. Very close, and Michael Hall allows him through, but he's going to go for that undercut again. Very good racing this afternoon, but unfortunately this team could allow Silvio Pomerati to battle in for this win.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic battling out there right now. It's not over yet, still side by side, and Pomerati definitely wants this. I think he can sense that there's going to be an opportunity as he has a little look in the middle there, but thinks better of it.
Oh wow, he's playing. He has to stay very patient at the moment. Sylvian Pomerade, they're blocking him, not intentionally. They're playing it right, but oh look at Ashley Sutton though, sliding through the corner, maintains it. Those tires are going to heat up quite significantly. But Sylvian Pomerade, I wouldn't rule him out for a win in this race. Well, we'll head towards the white flag very, very shortly. Michael Hall still in the lead. Ashley Sutton in second. Sylvian Pomerade in third. Robert Fagg as well wants to be. He could also win this race if there's any incidents. As well as Ben Palmer behind, 3 seconds away from the lead. And with 1 lap to go, Alex, very, very close. Any of this top 5 could win the race. Oh, a bit of contact though. And I think that's Sylvian Pomerade shoving Ashley Sutton off the track. And well, they live for another day, I think, hopefully. Sylvian Pomerade blows an engine.
Yeah, huge mistake there. So didn't look that like he hit him that hard, but maybe just the downshifting to try and get the car slowed down to avoid Sutton there. He's just popped his engine, so he's gonna finish the race. But where he's gonna finish, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's opened it up a lot. Michael Hall really should be in a strong position for the win now. But Robert Fagg having a look on Sutton. Will he be able to make a move? Ben Palmer tucked up behind them as well, so we've got a new 3-car battle. But yeah, is anyone going to do anything as they are? Ashley's so hard to overtake. We picked up on this earlier on. He's late on the brakes. Going to be all important now. Robert having another little look. Not happening.
Oh wow, Robert Fagg though for the final podium spots here. I think though Ben Palmer will have to settle in. Oh, actually
Palmer's
no.
just disappeared.
So, yeah, Palmer disappeared. I was about to say he's gone. I'm not sure if he'll return back, but nonetheless the time has ticked to 0, and I think Michael Hall is pretty much being gifted this lead from that move at turn 1 where Sylvian Pomerade hit Ashley Sutton, blew his engine, and Michael Hall, after a magnificent race, will take the win here in race 1. Absolutely magnificent. His teammate Ashley Sutton just maintained 2nd place away from from Robert Fagg. And wow, so this is an incredible race at the moment, Alex.
Yeah, great battle out there all the way through. Michael Hall fully deserves the victory as well. He was able to hold his teammate off, get back in front, do some great undercuts there. Great battling from those 2 drivers there. Robert Fagg will be pleased with the podium position. He lost that place for a little while, but managed to fight back there as well. And yeah, well then we've got Alan Forth just come from nowhere, only 2.5 seconds behind with all the battling that was going off. And we missed Steve Burke work his way up to 5th place as well. Pete Newman in 6th. So good, yeah, some great racing out there today on this first round.
Wow, so I'm just listening to some of the drivers' comments after the race, but absolutely incredible there. And we look at the standings once again. Michael Hall wins from Ashley Sutton, the 2 teammates in 1st and 2nd. Robert Fagg in 3rd, wonderful race from him. Alan Tessier in 4th. Stephen Burke 5th. Pete Newman, Alexandra Chaudron, Steve Hefford, Robert Plumley, and Liam Atkins round out our top 10. We look at the rest of the grid. It's Sylvian Pomerade eventually finished in 11th with that blown engine. Tom Stanley 12th. Sakwitz in 13th position, Paul Smith in 14th, Matthew Bacon 15th, Dmitry Djukanovic in 16th, and the rest of the finishers, we have Ellis Stevens, Russell Lader, Alex Bristow, Keith Hamilton, Roy Ververke, and then on the finishing a lap behind, Ben Palmer, Klotzli, Dan Hunt, Christophe Godard, Martin Johnson, Matthew Bunn, and finally Crid Peak. A big 28-car grid there, Alex, and 28 feisty races as we saw in race 1.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for the next race as well. Reverse grid is going to be awesome. I think Ben Palmer, Miles, and then Dan, they're all going to be very strong, and it's going to be very difficult for the likes of Hall, Sutton, Fagg to get back up and through the pack quick enough to be able to challenge those guys. We saw Palmer was able to stick with the leaders all the way through, and I know how good that Dan Hunt was, and Miles was able to stay in front of the leaders for about 5 or 6 laps before they caught him. So I think those guys are going to be really strong next race.
We'll have to wait and see. Don't forget, everybody, reverse grid for race 2. It's a 35-minute race. Also, the compulsory pit stop. So it's going to shape things up very interesting for this season. Round 1 here of Champions of the Future at Brands Hatch. And, well, commercial time for us. And we will head over to, well, hopefully race 2 after the ad break. And thank you for joining us once again. This is the Champions of the Future coverage on RaceSpotTV.
Cars are lined up on the grid. The RaceSpot.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn 1 for the first time.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing.com has officially begun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpotTV, and welcome to the mid-race show, as we've got ourselves one race in the book where Michael Hall was able to take victory. We start off then with mid-race interviews here on RaceSpotTV. We'll go first of all and talk to the CQR Club, who have no idea who I am, and is going to shout at me after this race anyway. But we will talk to the driver who came home a little bit further down from potentially where he wanted to, Ashley Sutton. And Ashley, well, the first part of the race was good, then it all kind of went wrong in the middle. And Ashley Sutton hates me so much he doesn't want to talk to me. In the meanwhile, we'll try and have a word with Michael Hall, because Michael Hall, of course, did win the race here, and getting himself a 1.6 second victory in the end over Robert Fagg. And, well, Robert, good race overall. Get yourself the first win of the season. How's it feel?
I don't see Bertie's not there as well.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to talk to Rusty later, because Rusty actually likes me.
I'm back, but I don't know what the question was.
That's all right. How was your race?
Brilliant, yeah. I think Ash was a bit kind to me there, but yeah, good to get the season off to with a win.
Well, yeah. But talking about your own race now, Rusty, how did that one go?
Well, not exactly to plan. It seemed like it was amateur hour at the start. But these things happen. You've just got to grit your teeth, get on with it. And I managed to come home like 19th or 20th. So it's still points on the board. It's early days in the season. And well, I've got a memory like an elephant. I don't forget many things. So, you know, what goes around comes around.
And, of course, 19th, 20th, yes, it's bad on one hand. But as far as the reverse grid goes, that is going to mean something a whole lot different as we head ourselves into race 2. Starting yourself towards the front of the field. Looking forward to it?
Not really, because I'm actually I'm nearly smack bang in the middle. If I can get through the first couple of corners, I'll take it from there, and I think I should be in with a fairly decent shout. But let's be honest, I've got where's the results gone? I've got Dan Hunt starting in front of me. If I was a betting man, I'd be putting my money on Dan Hunt for winning this race.
So we've also got to say a couple of other people we're going to again try and get a word with before we head ourselves over to race number 2. And here I want to see Michael Hall leading the way as far as the race went. 1.5 seconds over Ashley Sutton, Robert Fagg in 3rd, Alan Tessier in 4th, Stephen Burke, Pete Newman, Alexander Shodwan, Steve Hefford, Robert Plumley, and Liam Atkins rounding out your top 10. We'll get a word with Atkins in just a couple of moments' time. But first of all, we're going to have a chat with a driver, well, whose race didn't necessarily go the way he wanted it to be. And that was the one of Ben Palmer. Ben, what the heck happened?
I was doing alright at the start, just run out of fuel towards the end.
Finished the lap down, 22nd position, race number 2 coming up. You were, I'm presuming, hoping for a little bit better start to this season, but is it now a case of race 2, just go for it like hell and, you know, take a drop week if you have to?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long race. You know, these pit stops are going to count. Pitting at the right time and getting back out on the circuit. You know, I think my money's on Dan Hunt for winning, but, you know, anything can happen.
Now, Robert Fagg, he finished inside the top 3 here today, first race of the season. And Robert, well, 1.5 seconds away from the race win overall, but the racing itself doesn't really show that at all. It was incredible out front. Take us through it from your perspective.
Yeah, no, it was a great race. Yeah, I missed up the starts. I did the start of last season. Michael got past me going into turn 1, so it was all uphill from there, really. But made a couple of silly mistakes, which dropped me back to 5th at one point. But yeah, it was quite good fun. Really good racing going on, very close. So hopefully the whole season will be the same.
Well, you've got the 2 CQR cars behind you for race number 2. You'll be starting 3rd from last-ish, however. We know standing starts. We know it's always scary down to turn 1 at Brands Hatch all of the time. Are you racing towards getting yourself as many positions at the start, and are you thinking potential safety car?
Yeah, you're always thinking of a safety car, but every time I'm racing, I want to try and win, to be honest. So I'll try my best to come through the field, see how high I can get up. But yeah, the pit stops should mix it up quite a bit today, so we'll wait and see what strategies people decide to go with.
Robert Fagg there coming home in the 3rd position. Now going to get a quick word with Liam Atkins if he is available. Now, Liam, your race here today, P10 in race number 1. Take us through it.
Yeah, it was a clean start with chaos going around everywhere behind me and around me, and I just managed to keep it clean and just pick up the positions as people crashed off around.
Well, you of course were right there in the middle as that melee was going on around you. Just how scary was it trying to get yourself through Paddock Hill Bend, lap number 1, and carnage just engulfing yourself around yourself?
Yeah, it was just like, it was all I could see was smoke, so I just kept it on my line and just hoped nothing come across the track into my car.
Well, round number 2, you will be down on the mid-pack once again. Are you racing knowing the fact there might be a safety car? Are you going to keep it safe? Or are you going to go aggressive?
I think I'm going to keep it safe and just try and use the same strategy as this one. Just keep it clean and hope to see what happens at the end of it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll step aside for one moment. Race number 2 will be coming up on RaceSpotTV in just a couple of moments. We'll step aside. We'll be back after these messages.
Truex on the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Did even give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing.com has officially begun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpotTV, round number 2, race number 2 of the season, taking place in just 5 minutes' time. With Vincent along with Johnny Simon and Alex Simpson as we get ourselves ready for the second of today's events. Now, Alex, we talked about it whilst off air. New change to this season. It's a longer race, but we have ourselves a pit stop.
Yeah, that's going to spice things up just a little bit. So see when drivers jump in, take that pit. Obviously, you've got to have good entry, good exit, take just the fuel you want. I wonder if there'll be a few people that will short fuel. So we've seen this in a few other series as well. So it's going to definitely spice it up, and it'll give an opportunity for those guys coming through from the back to perhaps take an early pit stop, get some clear track out ahead of them, and try and basically pump in some times while they can with some free track. Who knows how it's going to play out? Of course, they're restricted with the amount of fuel that they can take, so won't see anybody come in on the first lap because they just won't make it to the end. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, and yeah, just another little element. I think it's going to be great.
And it's something that you see on a number of RaceSpotTV broadcasts, of course, including the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. And strategy, therefore, Alex, becomes incredibly important because sometimes you want clean air, sometimes you want to be in traffic. This racetrack, clean air is always an advantage. If you can outsmart your opponent, it can make your life very easy, but that means you don't necessarily want to be leading the race.
No, exactly that. It's until the pit stops happen, I really don't know where this race is going to go, and it's going to be really hard for us to call the action actually. So we're going to have to try and keep an eye on exactly who's doing what and when as well. But like you say, I mean, clear air is all important, especially for those guys a bit further back.
But the thing is, though, Johnny, we've got ourselves Michael Hall winning race number 1. He'll be starting from the very rear of the field for race number 2. Standing start downhill down towards turn number 2 means that there's always that chance for a safety car. And a safety car here, well, that can up-throw anything.
Yeah, safety car is definitely going to mix things up, especially for a 35-minute race. We'll see if the mentalities will change between drivers. I don't think so. I think they're all going to be racing to the limit. So we'll see how that plays out. But Ben Palmer, though, he had that issue finishing a lap behind the disqualification, I think it was, or at least it was listed as. So that'll be interesting for him starting near the front. He has the pace. He should be at the back of the pack because it's a reverse grid. So that would be very interesting, him leading off proceedings.
Yep. So then we've got ourselves, you can see down the play clock, 2 minutes remaining of practice before we get ourselves ready for round number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you are a new member to iRacing.com, head over to iRacing, get yourselves 3 months for only $12, including all of the free content, plus the 4GT, both GT2 and GT3 models. Use the promo code that you see on your screen. It is PR-RaceSpot Live, and get yourselves involved. The world's most realistic online racing simulator. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, coming your way in just a couple of weeks' time, we have ourselves the iRacing.com 12 Hours of Sebring. And Alex, well, that is one race that drivers really want to win. The second round of the iRacing.com Endurance Series.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that race, and the Daytona one was an amazing race, and lots happened there, and huge turnout as well. I just hope Sebring's going to be exactly the same. What a fantastic track to do it at as well. It's famous for endurance racing, and I think I'm just looking forward to watching that one.
Well then, practice is pretty much over. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Simon and Alex Simpson will be taking you through race number 2 of the championship. This has been your RaceSpotTV mid-race break, brought to you by And1 Design. And Johnny, it is once again back over to you.
Thanks once again, Will. Absolutely delighted to head through this very feisty race 2. And I mentioned it before, Alex, 35 minutes. It's almost double the distance, or double the time of race 1. I don't think these drivers are going to pretty much change their mentality. They're all going to be fighting it out to the limit.
They've got to. It's the only way to go, I think. So yeah, this is going to be great.
Well, we talk about the compulsory pit stop as well. I mean, how do you think that will shape up in terms of strategy for this race? I mean, how will it benefit? What's the best way to go about making that pit stop?
Yeah, my take personally on it is, if I was trying to come through from the back, I would probably try and get through some of the slower cars a little bit quickly, and then once you start to come across traffic that's perhaps a little bit harder to overtake, and perhaps is in a train, then I would think about jumping in then. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one to call. Like I say, we're going to have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll go through the grid at the moment, and 40 seconds remaining as Chris Peak ahead of Matthew Bond on the first row, Martin Johnson and Jean-Christophe Godard in the second row, Dan Hunt, Miles Klotzy on the third row, and then Ben Palmer, who had that unfortunate finish the first race with Roy Ververke on the fourth row of the grid, and then Keith Hamilton and Alex Bristow round out our top 10. Standing start for race 2. And, well, it's going to be very interesting as we have only very, very shortly. Your final thoughts, Alex, for this standing start?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a great race, and strategy is going to be so important here, but I'm calling Ben Palmer for the win.
Hopefully Ben Palmer can produce exactly that and support Alex Simpson at the moment. But we head towards the start of the race at the moment. All the drivers stare at the lights. The lights will illuminate very, very shortly. 35 minutes of racing. And we go green here at Brands Hatch. So look at the drivers already. Very poor start, I think, on the first row. That's Matthew Bonney, or sorry, Chris Peak, actually, who's just a completely big accident in the back as well. Wow. So, I mean, Chris Peak just never went off the line. And then we go back to the front of the pack. Drivers already off the track in the gravel as well. And I think at the moment, though, Matthew Bond still leads ahead from Dan Hunt. Oh, no, Dan Hunt's in third. He's dropped position to third place. Incredible start there, though, Alex.
Yeah, Dan Hunt, another driver who I said was going to be very, very strong in this race, and it looks like my call for Ben Palmer. He started from the pit, so all the way at the back, so he's going to have a heck of a job to do that right now. So come on, Ben, let's see it happen. But yeah, Dan Hunt, contact at the front as well. Got one of the sim racing cars there off and into the wall. I think he managed to survive.
Oh. Martin Johnson, I don't know how he survived that. That's incredible. And then, we head towards the back to the front of the pack. And that's still Matthew Bond away from Dan Hunt, I believe, there in second place. And, wow, so incredible starts already. Drivers, 35 minutes. You'd think people would be playing a little bit patient, but as we spoke about, certainly not as they head towards the middle part of the first lap.
I know it's all I have to just think with this reverse grid, the pack is always all over the place, and everybody wants to try and make moves as quickly as they can. We've seen in the past, if you can get out front very, very quickly, you can build up a lead from the quick guys that are going to be coming up strong towards the end of this race.
Well, we still head towards the end of the first lap at the moment. I'm still waiting for the timing screens to update here. I think it's still Matthew Bond leading. Yes, they have just updated at the end of the first lap. Matthew Bond leading from Dan Hunt, Jean-Christophe Godard in third place, and Miles Klotzy in fourth. Ellis Stevens rounds out our top 5. Already, though, a bit of a top 4 group shaping up at the moment between those 4 drivers. Very, very close. I think we could see a similar race here to race 1. We had a 5-way battle for the lead, and now we have a 4-way battle. It could shape into 5 anytime shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And Russell Laidler, who got caught up in that huge crash at the start of the last race as well. is up there and in 6th place. Another driver that's very, very quick. So got a few strong contenders out front. Robert Plumley's coming up as well. He's already made his way up to P10. Ashley Sutton, P14. So Michael Hall still sat in 18th place. So he's perhaps not progressing as quickly as he would want to.
Oh, look at the top 3 though. That's Jean-Christophe Godard already putting the pressure on the top 2. Very, very close. I think Dan Hunt though wants a piece of Matthew Bunn for first place. He gets exactly that. Jean-Christophe Godard playing it smartly. He jumps a position. So in one corner, I think Matthew Bunn drops 2 positions, heads to 3rd, still on the podium, still the early stage of the race. Remember, they have to make a compulsory pit stop. Incredible battling though there, and I think that was all set up by Dan Hunt's passing maneuver.
Yeah, Hunt got his nose on the inside there, and there was nothing really that Goddard could do. In the end, he had to cut across Coletzi there, otherwise he was going to lose another place there and drop down to 4th.
Jean-Christophe Godard though around the outside. What's his line going to be? Oh, he cuts in at the last second. That's almost Matthew Bunn collecting him. Very, very close between the drivers. And now Jean-Christophe Godard up the inside. Oh, wow. A bit of contact as well between the two. Very, very door scraping as well. But they maintain it together. And these top 2 absolutely feisty, as we've always talked about. Battling to the limit. They've been pretty much punching each other as they're driving past, and well, they live for another day, as we always say here. And at the back though, that's Miles Coletzi as well, putting the pressure on Matthew Bunn for 3rd.
Yeah,
is that Ashley Sutton? Wow, Ashley Sutton just maintaining at the last seconds. Ashley Sutton, we finished 2nd in race 1. He's currently in P13, 6 seconds from the lead. He still makes his way through the field at the moment. 7.2 seconds actually now from the lead after that half spin.
Yeah, great little battle here between, this is Tom Stanley, Paul Smith, Ashley Sutton, Martin Johnson, all involved in this battle here. This is that mid-pack, just sort of, I just don't know whether or not Ashley at this point, he's just going to be thinking, I need to get some clear air at this point. It's way too early for him to pit, but he's making progress quite quickly. Michael Hall as well, he's got Robert Fagg just ahead of him as well. So all the top drivers now inside the top 15 places. Actually, Michael's just outside. So, and we've got, who's that just gone wide there? Martin Johnson just runs off wide as well.
Oh, we have... This is very interesting. Around the front of the pack, there was a lap car getting out of the way as well. But yeah, Martin Johnson, apologies before, that was Ashley Sutton not half spinning. It was Martin Johnson who got a bit of a tap from Ashley Sutton. And they, well, Ashley got the benefit of it, and Martin didn't. So back to the front though. Miles Coletzi did get in front of Matthew Bunn, and now Matthew Bunn gets back in front of him after that lap car was in the way there. Jean-Christophe Godard's dropped back from Dan Hunt for the lead. But you look at that battle though, Robert Fagg and Michael Hall, Ashley Sutton, the top 3 from race 1. Very, very close at the moment between them. They're currently in 12th, 13th and 14th. It's going to be interesting to see how they make their way through the field.
Yeah, epic battle here, and just having a little look a bit further down just to see what else is going on. Ben Palmer's moving back up, Martin Johnson, Matthew Bacon. So just still, I mean, these guys are just 10 seconds off of the lead battle here as well. So it's not over for anyone yet with the different strategies, and seeing some great side-by-side battle as well between Miles Coletzi right now. They're going to hold on to that dust, sweeps across. He'll take it into the final corner.
Well, so Miles Coletzi now finally takes P3. Matthew Bunn was dicing and slicing with him throughout that past lap. 28 minutes remaining in this race, and we look at Matthew Bunn though. He's not going to give up. Tries to pick his line carefully through turn 1. He does exactly that, and onto the curb very aggressively, but he maintains the grip, maintains the line. And now as they head towards turn 2, it's very, very close. Oh, a bit of contact though. That's Alice Stevens, I think, collecting Matthew Bunn, and he keeps it together. Alice Stevens though getting a bit impatient behind. I think he just braked very late actually. And behind him is Sylvian Pomerade from race 1, the guy who was around the front of the pack. He wants a piece of it as well. And look at that, around the outside. Can he make it stick? Oh, too close. And I think actually, wow, great driving. Alice Stevens maintains that. Sylvian Pomerade will have to settle for P6. We look at Sylvian Pomerade though through turn 5. Oh, too close between the back. This is very, very hair-raising at the moment. Absolutely hair-raising as they head towards Westfield Bend, turn 6. And they'll go towards Sheen Curve at 7. And it's going to be, oh, just incredible at the moment. The top two, though, Dan Hunt and Jean-Christophe Godard, 1 second between them. They've separated themselves from the rest of the pack. 3 seconds in front of third place, Miles Klutzy.
Yeah,
and I think for Miles now,
you have a look through Ashley Sutton as well, though. He is currently up 15 places from where he started in this race. So Sutton, he is on the move right now. It's right along board of him there. And, well, he's got another one there done. As you see down into the final corner, Sutton now up inside the top 10, up into P number 9, Johnny.
Wow. So up to P9, Ashley Sutton. You know what? I think at the moment, Ashley Sutton making his way through the field. You can't count him out for the win already. But in front of Ashley Sutton, though, he's going to have to deal with all these battles taking place. A bit of a spinner off into the gravel as well.
Win Pomerade there, you can see in the number 22 car down the field. All of a sudden, we got ourselves a replay of that one. And, well, Sylvian's had himself a good race so far, but it's just that one little incident that seems to have caught him up. He is once again now scored outside of your top 10, Johnny.
Wow. So, I mean, incredible at the moment. So, look at Ashley Sutton, though, right onto the back of Robert Plumley. And Ashley Sutton heading towards turn 5. Very, very close to the back. I don't think he can make a passing maneuver stick. He has to settle in. Oh, but instead he gives a little bit of a tap. Oh, and they collect each other. Oh, absolutely incredible through turn 5.
Yeah, and there you can see there the back end of that one. Plumley involved in that one. He's fallen well down the field. We'll get a camera angle on that one. We'll get ourselves a replay. Plumley is going to be classified as well down the field and out of the race at the time being. And Johnny, Plumley had a good season last time out. Was looking to improve this time around, but it all went wrong for him back end of the racetrack.
Oh, wow. So that's just not exactly not what he wanted there. So Ashley Sutton, I think, a little bit impatient now. He's probably going to get a bit of a talking about that maneuver there. But he heads up into, I think, now in P7. So he's making his way through the field nonetheless. But, well, not cleanly, unfortunately.
And the big victim in that one as well, you can see upside down and around was a Rusty Laidler and the Doritos Arseholes machine there. And you can see upside down, both of those cars, they head themselves down through turn number 5. And that is going to be a miserable end to Rusty Laidler's race and also to the race of Robert Plumley. What we have got, though, is out front. We've got ourselves, Alex, well, 1.8 seconds between Dan Hunt and Jean-Christophe Godard.
Yeah, I just have to bob away just for 1 second there, and of course, Dan Hunt's just stretching his legs right now, so he's in a great position, just lapping a little bit quicker than Goddard out there, so got some clean air, no traffic in front of him that he's got to worry about right now, so he's in a perfect position right now.
Well, another guy in a perfect position is Ashley Sutton. This time he doesn't have any contact with the guy in front. The guy in front there is Matthew Bunn, who effectively has dropped loads of positions in this race. And Matthew Bunn, well, he's been overtaken so much that I think he might as well just give up this position to Ashley Sutton. And I think he is doing exactly that. Up the inside, Ashley goes, and nice maneuver. This time it was clean, though, from Ashley. No dirty maneuvers from him.
Yeah, one thing we've learned from last season is Ashley doesn't take any prisoners. He will want to get a move done as quickly as possible when he sees an opportunity. He goes for it. There's a great battle behind there. Is that Tom Stanley coming through as well?
I think actually it's Tom Stanley, but at the moment Miles Klutzy from third place is just DNF'd. He's just pulled to the side of the track and just left the race. So unfortunately for Miles Klutzy, his race is over. He was up there in the podium positions, couldn't get it done. So that now Alex gives a position to Alex Sutton. He's now up into 4th place, and we still have to make that pit stop, remember, as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was Tom Stanley and Matt Bunn there going into turn 1 side by side. A little bit of rubbing even, and Bunn ends up out wide and into the gravel, so he's slipping down the order slowly but still fighting strong and sitting in 7th place right now, so he's trying to hold on to that good reverse grid position that he had.
Well, Matthew Bunn, he is doing exactly that. Very, very close between them, and well, we look at the battles as well. So Dan Hunt still 2.2 seconds ahead of Jean-Christophe Godard. This pit stop, Alex, I mean, when is the best time to make it? Obviously you do have to make it on fuel as well, but I mean, is there any particular sequence of the race that you think these drivers will head in?
Yeah, I think, like I say, I really think it's going to come down to the driver as well. Just having a look at Matt Bunn just getting 2 wheels onto the grass there. We saw that earlier on from a different driver. Same results there, massively sideways, loses perhaps another 2 or 3 spots there.
How he maintained that is beyond me. He feeds it back onto the track, no contact with anyone else. So incredible from Matthew Bunn, but I mean, yeah, Well, he's slowly dropping down the field as well, unfortunately for him. But at least he's still in the race. He's still in the top 10. I mean, that's not too... Actually, no, he's in 11th now. The screen's updated me and proved me wrong. So, unfortunately for Matthew Bunn, he's dropped outside the top 10 with that half spin.
Yeah, he's under a little bit of pressure now as well. So, here he goes down into 12th place. Allen there just sticking his nose up the inside. Great move late on the brakes. Ben Palmer sat behind him as well. So, Palmer recovering well after having to start from the pits. He's got a gaggle of cars ahead of him that he wants to get up to, and he's going to, Palmer just going to squeeze up the inside here. Yeah, great move.
Well, and we look at the front though. Oh, jeez. I think that's from Ellis Stevens to Robert Farag. There's 8 cars in a train at the moment. Ashley Sutton though jumps into 3rd place. Incredible move into turn 5. Absolutely just played it perfectly. So now he's into the podium positions. I think Ellis Stevens doesn't want to give up that position anytime shortly, and Alexander Chaudron now wants to go up the inside of Ellis Stevens. I think he can make that maneuver stick. He does into turn 7, and very, very close. Oh, contact as well, and Alexander Chaudron into the wall, and oh no, certainly not what they wanted. Ellis Stevens as well, a bit of contact, so Alexander Chaudron unfortunately into the wall there.
Yeah, unfortunately it looked like the cars just sort of got stuck together there, and Stevens was able just to be able to get out of it before he hit the wall. We lost about 4 or 5 spots there, but manages to sort of roughly maintain his track position without losing too much ground, so he should be able to fight back potentially.
Michael Hall up the inside at turn 1. Paddock Hill Bend very close between him, and I think that's Tom Stanley battling, so Tom Stanley dropping positions as well. Lots of drivers under pressure this afternoon. We thought it was all Matthew Bond, but now other guys such as Tom Stanley have to deal with this pressure. And wow, incredible racing. We talked about it before, an 8-car train. That's what you get with these Kia Optimas.
Yeah, suddenly Hall as well has really gotten into top gear, and he's making his way up through the field as we see Zach Stanley losing another place to Pomerad there. I think it is.
It is Sylvian Pomerad making his way up through the field as well, so a very good job from him. Ashley Sutton though, we look at him, 11.4 seconds. He's got a clear track ahead. He has to set his mind to it, and it's very, very close now, I think, between him and the drivers behind, but he's going to pull away, as we said. He has to set his mind into a rhythm at the moment. He has to catch up to that top 2, and anytime gain during a pit stop. This is why it's important, Alex, to practice those pit stops, because you can gain those few important seconds that could help you take a win.
Yeah, exactly, and this is something these guys don't normally do in the Kia as well. Normally it's just a straight out race, they're fine on fuel. So, all new experience. I wonder how many people have actually sort of spent the time to do more than just maybe 1 or 2 sort of race pit in. It's such a different thing when you've got the adrenaline pumping and you're trying to get to that marker and not speed, but obviously not go too slowly as well. I wonder if we'll see a few pit lane speed-in violations in the next few laps.
Well, coming towards the exit of Clark Curve, you really have to set up your line perfectly into the pit entry. Look at Tom Stanley, though, getting a bit of a shove behind from Robert Farag. Robert Farag's like, come on, get on with it, mate. And he wants Tom Stanley to get out of the way, but he's not going to do that. Tom Stanley sets his feet on the ground quite heavily and maintains that 7th position away from Robert Farag. So Robert Farag at the moment putting the pressure on as usual. And we look at this train as well, another train setting up itself at the moment. Ashley Sutton's broken away, as well as Roy Viverke, who leads off this train in 4th place.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned Sutton pulled away there to a 1 minute 28.8 lap. That was actually 10th of a second slower than our leader out there. So Dan Hunt is doing an absolutely fantastic job out front, lapping great pace, and Goddard was just a little bit slower. Wow, 1.2 seconds actually. So you have to think that Sutton is going to quickly get up to 2nd place. But let's jump back to that battle from 4th onwards. That is really starting to hot up now. Roy Viverke there leading that battle as we come into the final corner here. It's going to be so difficult for him to hold on to this. All these eager drivers behind Michael Hall looking very, very racy, looking up the insides, having the line blocked, but I think he's going to be able to get his car there going into turn 1.
No, wow, look at Sylvian Pomerade, very, very close. I think there's a bit of a contact as well, but the back. Oh, and that's Roy Viverke off the track as well. I think it was just out of all pressure. And now Michael Hall as well. He's going to feed up. I don't know who's going to lead this battle at the end. Tom Stanley wants a piece of it as well. He goes up the inside and he'll hopefully maintain the grip behind him. Tom Stanley tries to get the grip from Sylvian Pomerade. Pomerade has to settle in, gains nothing out of that battle. He gave it his all, and in the end, he just settles in for P6. He loses a position.
Amazing little sequence there, and some great moves there, and Pomerade there, he must have thought, yes, I've done this inside one, outside the other, thank you very much, and then all of a sudden he's back where he was again.
So they head towards turn 5 once again. That's Hawthorne's Bend, and finally as well, they're not going to go side by side. I think we've seen enough action for this lap. Oh, actually, you know what? There's never enough action in these races. There was 17 minutes remaining, and we've just passed the halfway mark as well. And Martin Johnson and Robert Fagg just coming out of the pits as well. So they've made their pit stop. This could play key though for strategy, making that undercut. Look at Martin Johnson. Oh wow, outside of the pits, almost spins. Incredible stuff there.
Yeah, cold tyres, we've seen this in the past when we go to the tracks that have got slightly overcast conditions. Those rears just take a little bit longer to heat up, and that can happen, and they go a little bit again. He's going to lose.
So Tom Stanley heads towards pits row, as well as Alan Tessier as well. So Tom Stanley making that pit stop, had a great lap there, Alex. He passed a few cars and he ended up making a pit stop, so he gained as much time as possible, and that's going to play to his benefit. It's going to benefit him, sorry, come the end of the race.
Yeah, let's just see how long that pit is. It looks like, like you say, this seems to be the go time really for everybody to jump in, mainly on fuel. So. But yeah, let's see where Robert Fagg is compared to these guys, because he was just behind them. He's still quite a way away yet, so it's going to be it's definitely a long old stop for these Kias. It's not a quick process. It's almost a lap.
Well, hopefully he feeds out in time, so Dan Hunt actually does not lap him. Dan Hunt's coming through at the moment. That's turn 8, Sterling's Bend. So I don't think Tom Stanley will get lapped, but as you said, Alex, almost a lap really. And Tom Stanley heads outside of the pits, and he's got a clean track ahead of him. He just has to put the hammer down now, and well, he's got a clean track as well. This could help him though, just warming up the tires, but he can't lose those visual at least limits. Sometimes when you're racing around other cars, you know the pace you need to keep up, but now on his own, he really needs to keep it up as much as possible. But Ashley Sutton pits as we talk about that.
Yeah, so definitely this seems to be the sweet spot for the strategy. We've got Michael Hall coming in as well, so yeah, all the leaders in now. It's just Dan Hunt that's really going really long into this race as well, so interesting strategy. But why should he pit? Johnny, he's out there in front, he's got all the clear air that he needs, so he can just push it until the tank is almost dry.
Yeah, and as you said, Dan Hunt, incredible job. I mean, just because it was a reverse grid doesn't mean that that's the only reason why he's in first place. He's kept up the pace incredibly. Previous lap of 1 minute 28.8. Absolutely incredible. I think in second place, though, Jean-Christophe Godard is really going to have to step it up a little. He's 8.9 seconds away from Dan Hunt in the lead. He was within a second near the start of the race, so he's lost heaps of time there. So Dan Hunt potentially can win this race without any incidents and with a good pit stop pace. So Ashley Sutton comes out of the pits at the moment. We will hope to see Dan Hunt in any time soon. Ashley Sutton, though, very close, a 42.5 second pit stop. And I think for Hall, though, where is Hall? Michael Hall, a 52.5 second pit stop, very long, 10 seconds lost compared to Ashley Sutton.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier on. You know, drivers need to nail both the in and the out. Make sure they put just the right amount of fuel in. These keys do not refuel very quickly. It all gets all sorts of sideways. And actually, I think that's a driver there who's just disappeared. Got disqualified due to the incident count there as well. So huge there. I'm not sure who that was. He's just disappeared off my screen.
That's Martin Johnson, I think. Yeah, Martin Johnson, unfortunately, has been disqualified from this race due to a lot of incidents. Well, unfortunately, some of them have been his fault, some of them haven't. But well, unfortunately for him, his race is over. And we look at Dan Hunt, still hasn't made his pit stop. He came across to turn 1 at Paddock Hill Bend. There was a lap car coming out of the pits right in the middle of the corner. It was very close. So, I mean, now that he's not making this pit stop, Alex, early, he's going to end up being impeded by all these lap cars and lose time to Ashley Sutton and Jean-Christophe Godard.
Yeah, lap time just fell off a little bit that last time by, but I have to think if he takes it as long as he can, he'll need to refuel just a little bit less than perhaps some of the others, and well, we've seen already how long this can take. So perhaps perhaps absolutely brimmed it at the start of this race, and knows that he just needs a little splash more towards the end. It looks like actually he might be indicating that he's going to pit that time as well.
So Dan Hunt
continues.
feed into the pits. He continues. Wow, so 12.5 minutes remaining. Still deems fit to continue. And at the front though, Jean-Christophe Godard, second place, just under 10 seconds. Very close between them. Ashley Sutton now, it's important to look at lap times at the moment. Ashley Sutton's previous lap was 3 seconds slower than Dan Hunt. I think that was because he was heading out of the pits. So, and I think Verke head into the pits as well.
Yeah, he was one of the 6 drivers at the top there that hadn't pitted yet, so we're down to 5 now that haven't pitted. So Paul Smith will take over 5th place. He's the last driver not to pit, and actually I've just been told by our producer that he's into the pits as well.
Yeah, so Paul Smith into the pits as well. Look at Ellis Stevens' car though. We will concentrate on the pit stops, but Ellis Stevens behind Ben Palmer there in 3rd and 4th. He's got a pretty damaged car, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in a lot of battles at the moment. Look at the front end of that Kia. It's absolutely, well, I mean, I'm speechless to say that that's going to be a pretty expensive job to fix. Luckily, we're on iRacing this afternoon, but nonetheless, Ashley Sutton, look at his low. He's going to come across the line. This is important. His lap time compared to Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt continues. Ashley Sutton's last lap time, a 1 minute 28.7. About what is that? That's 4 tenths faster than Dan Hunt. Not enough to pass Dan for the lead, but he's slightly gaining on him.
Yeah, not enough at all, and actually Dan Hunt coming in this time, so let's keep an eye on his entry. Everything absolutely sweet there, no issues. Gonna need to hit his marks. I mean, he's got a 10-second gap over Goddard as well, so I wonder if Goddard's in as well. So Ben Palmer, let's just see if he comes in. He's coming around the final corner. He's in as well. Ellis Stevens comes in, so everybody's now pitted, so let's just see how this pans out. Where is Ashley Sutton now compared to the leaders?
Ashley Sutton. Ashley Sutton is he's going to slowly hope to gain this lead with 10 minutes remaining. So we look at Rover Verke's pit stop, 52.5 seconds, very similar to Hall. Ashley Sutton though, that quick pit stop, 42.5. I'm not sure if that's damage or certain strategies different there, because that's going to be important now for Dan Hunt to ensure that his pit stop time is at least similar to Ashley Sutton.
Yeah, let's just have a look. Hunt still sat there. I think this is no, he's still not. Hasn't made a move yet, but I'll tell you who has is Goddard. Goddard is out and away and into the lead. Ben Palmer's coming next, so God knows what happened to Dan Hunt there. Perhaps didn't untick tyres or whatnot. Took way too much fuel. That 10-second lead.
Wow, so incredible pit stops there, and I think Goddard with a 35.3 pit stop takes that lead. So maybe he could have taken no tyres or something like that, as you mentioned, Alex. But at the moment, though, Dan Hunt's lead has just been lost. Ashley Sutton's taken that away. Dan Hunt struggling as well, sliding through. I think that's turn 3 there. So very, very, apologies, turn 4 through Surtees. And so Dan Hunt, unfortunately, he kept up the pace. This is just really disappointing for him. The pit stop has just completely ruined his race and his strategy at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Sutton's got through as well. So I'm really not sure what happened to Hunt. Maybe we can get a little chat with him at the end of this race, because frankly, I think he had this race sewn up. It was in the bag, and yeah, just something he's done there. And with the pit, the crew there, it's just really let this one slip away.
Well, we look at the lead now again. Jean-Christophe Godard ahead for 5.3 seconds from Ben Palmer. So yeah, that 35.3 pit stop confirmed for Jean-Christophe Godard. Ashley Sutton, we talked about 42.5 seconds. He lost 7 seconds in that pit stop. Ben Palmer though, incredibly, this is incredible, 31.8 second pit stop. And that's why he's currently in P3, 5.2 seconds. He started from the pits, I presume so, if I'm not mistaken. So Ben Palmer, we ruled him out after that first lap, unfortunately. But now at the moment, as Ashley Sutton getting very impatient behind the lap car, as the lap car is not making things easy for him. Ben Palmer's still in this race for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like I say, 5 seconds behind. Let's keep an eye on the out laps there. Palmer was at 133.2. And Goddard was, well, 133.2 as well. So very even between those guys. I think Goddard's going to come under pressure late in this race. We are, what are we, about 7 minutes left of this race to go. So it's going to be hearing of a battle right now as well. With the 22 car of Pomerado, yeah, tucked up. There's a great little 3-car battle here. You've got Robert Fagg there just in front of those guys.
Look at Tom Stanley there. He's completely just giving a shove towards. I think that's Robert Fagg in front. Oh no, that's Sylvain Pomerado in front. So. These drivers swap positions on this lap, and they're still battling on. There's that's Robert Fagg off the track. So Robert Fagg makes a mistake on that corner, and he's maintains it. He goes through Clark Bend, and well, the final corner of the track. It's very interesting, and it sets people up for that turn 1 maneuver at the moment. These drivers are at the moment. We look at Tom Stanley behind, having a look at this battle in front. It's Robert Fagg and Sylvain Pomerado. Bit of a battle now. We'll see if Sylvain can get that undercut. I don't think he can. Well, actually, no, he does indeed. Proves me wrong. Goes up the inside. And Robert will have to give up that position. We'll see if Tom Stanley can capitalize on this. Bit of contact between them, but all 3 of them maintain their grip and won't keep the car in a straight line.
Yeah, great attacking move there from Sylvain. Just like you say, just got a good run out turn 1 there. Just able to get his nose up the inside, and Robert gave him the room just in order to avoid the collision there.
Well, look at lap times last time around for the top 3. We have Jean-Christophe Godard with a 1 minute 28.1, and then we have Sutton 3/10 slower with a 28.4, and Palmer a 28.5. So we criticised Jean-Christophe Godard, or at least I did, for not being able to keep up the pace compared to Dan Hunt before the pit stop phases. But now it seems he's running away from the lead, and that late pit stop really helps in this situation. Though we look back to this battle though between Robert Fagg and Sylvain Pomerado. Robert Fagg tucked up right up to the back as well. And it's just incredible between these two now as they head towards just over 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I wonder if the difference in lap times there are drivers perhaps didn't take tyres, so tyres are fully up to temperature, and these guys are going to have to wait a few laps just to build the pressures and the temps up, or if it's if it's actually the reverse. So not entirely sure exactly what's the benefit. Something else we'll have to ask the drivers, because it's a very new dynamic to the series. Is this pit stop? We're a little unfamiliar with it so far. So yeah, we'll have a good chat with them afterwards and see which one worked out best.
Well, Ashley Sutton 2/10 faster last time by as we head just under 5 minutes left in the race. We look at the lead once again. Jean-Christophe Godard heads by 3.4 seconds away from Ashley Sutton, who started in 27th position. Remember, this reverse geared race 2. And then Ben Palmer in 3rd, 4.6 seconds behind the leader. 6.9 seconds behind is Dan Hunt in 4th. Pete Newman in 5th, 9.7 seconds behind. Robert Fagler and Sylvain Pomerado in 6th and 7th, 15 seconds behind the leader. Absolutely incredible battle heading into turn 5 and now 6. Tucked up right into the gearbox. Robert Fagg's just raced excellent today. His racecraft is top notch. It's world class, and that's why he's here today, racing in that top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having a look now, up 19 positions indeed. So yeah, great driving from him. And actually, all of those that did such a great job in that first race. When you look at the drivers that have worked their way through. Even with the pit stops, some guys have just slipped a little bit further back. Michael Hall got himself right up towards the front at one point, but finds himself down in 9th place. But he's still got a few laps left and might be able to pick up a couple of places. But still, Tom Stanley, Robert Fagg and Pomerado all having this great battle as well.
Oh, so I think Ashley Sutton last time by was 9/10 of a second faster than Jean-Christophe Godard. So he's 2.5 seconds away from the lead. Jean-Christophe Godard now succumbing to the pressure with 3.5 minutes remaining. Incredible battle at the moment. I think we'll have about 2 or 3 laps remaining. I think it might be 2, actually 3. Sorry, apologies. I've just heard. So 3 laps remaining, hopefully, in this race. And Jean-Christophe Godard will have to keep his head cool. Make sure he's drinking water in these late stages, actually. And as confirmation, my apologies, 2 laps, just to confirm. And well, as we talked about, Alex, Jean-Christophe Godard, he's got a 2.5 second lead. Can he maintain it in these late stages?
Well, I know there's nothing worse than when you're being chased down like this. You can see that gap just slipping away. You're just wishing the time will just tick over. But yeah, 2 laps. I think he should be able to hold on here. If Sutton, I mean, he looks like he's about 1.5, 1.75 seconds behind, maybe even just 2 now. So yeah, perhaps didn't catch up as much that lap as I initially thought. So as they cross the line, let's take a look at what the time is. 1.7 actually. So yeah, he's going to get an opportunity maybe on the last corner. I'm not sure. It's going to be so close, but yeah, Goddard's just going to have to just not make any mistakes and just stop looking at relative time. And there's nothing worse than when you can see that gap getting smaller and smaller. Ben Palmer's coming along with Sutton, but he's too far back to closing on Goddard. So really, it's just a battle for first and second now.
Yeah, it is certainly a battle for first and second though, but Ben Palmer's not going to give up. He's jumping all over the curbs. He's trying to maximize the limits of the track, taking the widest lines possible to gain as much lap time as possible. And we look at the intervals between those top 2, the relative gap of 1.3 seconds at least. We'll check it the next time it updates at the end of this lap, and well, we'll see how things go, because incredibly, I think the same gap is from Ashley Sutton to Ben Palmer. If they do battle these top 2, Alex, we could see them feed into the clutches of Ben Palmer, and we could indeed actually see a 3-way battle, although we are a bit, well, at least I am clutching at straws a little bit. I just want to see lots of entertainment in these closing stages.
Yeah, a little bit of traffic coming up there on the left, stays way out the way of the 3 leaders, so as they come by to take the final lap here, white flag is flying. 1 lap to go. I think Goddard just needs to have a clean lap here, and he's got it sewed.
Well, Jean-Christophe Godard, though, he's struggling through turn 1, takes lots of curb, he's lost lots of time visually there to Ashley Sutton on the final lap at the moment. And well, Ashley Sutton carries lots of apex speed, maintains the line. He's only 0.6 of a second behind on the relative gap to Jean-Christophe Godard. Incredible fight at the moment, but Ben Palmer, though, cannot capitalize on this. He's still stuck behind in 3rd place. He's lost lots of time. It's not really well, actually, I think Jean-Christophe Godard's the slowest out of these 3, obviously. He's allowed the 2 to catch up, and now at the moment, Ashley Sutton just has to, I mean, this sounds ironic to say, but he needs to be patient in his passing maneuver, but the problem is he doesn't have that many corners to go.
Yeah, no, just about 4, maybe 5 corners left to go. I think he's going to get an opportunity in this, maybe into the final corner. Like I said before, he's very good on the brakes. He's going to get 1 opportunity to do it, and that's it.
Oh wow, so it's Sylvian Palmer at the moment, and the outside of Tom Stanley's lost the position to Robert Fagg. The front, actually. Look at the front. Whoa, look at that. Jean-Christophe Godard still maintaining the line from Ashley Sutton. And I think Jean-Christophe Godard might indeed win this race, though. We look at the final corner at turn 9. Clark Kerr very close. Ashley Sutton, incredible exit. But at the moment, it's not going to be enough. Jean-Christophe Godard, incredible race. He's done everything. The pit stop phase went perfectly, and he wins the race too. Brands Hatch here at Champions of the Future in round 1. Incredible race from him. Ashley Sutton in 2nd place. Ben Palmer in 3rd after starting from the pits. Dan Hunt 4th. He had a poor pit stop phase, and unfortunately he lost the lead of the race. Unfortunate for him. It just doesn't go to show the amount of effort he put in for this race to finish 4th. In 5th though, climbing up incredible 18 positions, is Pete Newman. Robert Fagg from 26 to 6, 20 positions gained there. Tom Stanley finished in 7th. Sylvian Pomeradi eventually 8th. Those 3 guys there were battling for quite a while. And then for round out our top 10, it's Michael Hall and Paul Smith. Incredible race, Alex. And well done to Jean-Christophe Godard. The pit stop phase really helped him.
Oh yeah, he absolutely nailed that. Didn't take too much fuel. Perhaps, you know, I think he made the right call actually with the tyres. I would like to find out whether or not he kept the same tyres on there, because he was quick straight out of the pits for those 2 or 3 laps. It took a few guys just a little while to start to really close him in. Then you could see the advantage they had on the fresh rubber out there. So yeah, unless he tells me otherwise, it looks like he kept the same tyres on. That was enough to build up the gap. He was able to hold on to the lead that he had. Great job in the first half of the race before he pitted as well. Yeah, just a little bit gutted for Dan Hunt. He looked like he was absolutely dominating out there, and yeah, pit crew just let him down there with whatever went on. What decisions those guys decided to do, perhaps just didn't work the numbers there, and yeah, lost 10 seconds in the pits. So gutted for him. But yeah, Michael Hull coming through strong 9th as well. Robert Fagg moving up nicely. Ben Palmer from the pits for a podium. I mean, he must be delighted with that as well. That's got to be my you know, drive of the day. So not from the back row, but from the pits itself.
Yeah, incredible. He stayed out of all the trouble as well. So wonderful job by Ben Palmer there. And as we look at the fastest laps there, as you talked about, Alex, I think Jean-Christophe Godard might have indeed not taken tyres, because his fastest lap time at 1 minute 21.1 compared to Ashley Sutton's 1 minute 28.5 and Ben Palmer's 28.4. So we look at different strategies there, and it's certainly visible in lap times. So we go to the results now at the moment, and in the Jean-Christophe Godard in first place, and from Ashley Sutton in second. In third, or the final podium spot, it's Ben Palmer, and then Dan Hunt 4th, Pete Newman in 5th, Robert Fagg, incredible race from 6th, jumping up 20 positions. Tom Stanley in 7th, lots of battles throughout the day, and he ends up finishing in a solid 7th position there. Sylvain Pomerade as well, battling hard throughout the races in 8th. Michael Hall in 9th, Paul Smith in 10th, and then outside our top 10 we have Magic Sakjewitz in 11th, Roy Ververke in 12th place, Alice Stevens 13th, Alan Tessier 14th, and then on the final runners on the lead lap, it's Miles Klutzley and Matthew Bunn, our early leader from the race, eventually finished 16th and 1 minute and 8 seconds behind the leaders. And then the lap runners, we have Alexander Chaudron, Liam Atkins, Chris Peake, Matthew Bacon, Alex Bristow, Stephen Burke, and a few DNFs to go as well, with Martin Johnson, Keith Hamilton, Russell Laidler, Robert Plumley, Dmitry Djukanovic, Steve Hefford, and finally Patrice Langlet, who I do not think raced a lap in this race, unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very interesting race, and thank you very much, everybody. We'll head to a commercial now. This is RaceSpotTV's coverage of the round 1 of the Champions of the Future coverage here at Brands Hatch, and we'll see you very, very shortly.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing.com, has officially begun.
Cars are lined up on the grid. The Irish.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn 1 for the first time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to post-race coverage of Champions of the Futures World Touring Car Championship presented by And One Designs, as we welcome you back to Brands Hatch for post-race coverage after race number 2, round 1 of the season. Ashley started and drove through the fields, claiming himself second place in the second of the heats here today. And Ash, well, didn't get yourself a win here today at Brands, but you did get yourself a good set of second place finishes.
Yeah, two place finishes. Can't complain about that. Made a slight error in race 1, which caused me to have a big moment out on the GP circuit, which gave Mike the lead. So I just had to sort of not take my teammate out, but also think about boys chasing me. And then the second race, it was just avoiding the carnage and working my way through. Didn't quite get the pit stops right. I think we lost time rather than gained, but that's what happens when you don't do any practice. So yeah, no, it was good. Good night. Just need to think on the pit stops.
Well, that's the thing as well. With a new season, new regulations, pit stops are now becoming a part of the season. It's always an unknown for the first couple of rounds because everyone does different pit strategies and some people keep some secrets up their sleeves. How do you think that is going to evolve the racing in this season 2?
I think it's going to completely change it. Throw such a mixing. For example, poor old Ben started from the pit lane due to an admin error, and he worked his way through it all the way through the field, got himself in a comfortable position, got his pit stop right, and suddenly come out alongside me in turn 1. We nearly collided because I wasn't expecting anyone to come out. But it shows how much you can gain and how much you can lose in a pit stop. So Dan Hunt went from 1st to 4th. Ben went from, I'm not sure where he was, but he managed to come out in 2nd. But I managed to get back off of him. So it's going to play a big part in it, and it's going to mix it right up, which is quite good.
We stay in Her Majesty's United Kingdom for round number 2 as we head over from Brands to Silverstone. Silverstone, of course, a track which is incredibly fun on these cars. 2 more races come in, I'll give you the exact bit, 6 hours and 22 hours and 33 minutes. You looking forward to it?
Thank you, man, yeah. No, it's going to be good. New layout, not the same as last season. So we did the national, but we're going around the international this time. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer lap, but there's more overtaking. So again, it's going to be throwing another spanner in the works.
Ashley Sutton claiming 2 second places here today in the first round of the second season of the World Touring Car Championship here on RaceSpotTV. Got a couple more people who we're going to get the opportunity to talk to. As we've got ourselves Ben Palmer here as well. He came home 3rd in race number 2 after starting from pit road. And Ben, what a recovery drive he had.
Yeah, I mean, I had to start from the pit lane due to admin errors. But like Ash said, after I'd done my first pit stop, it just, I come out in 2nd. I wasn't expecting to come out. When I overtook Dan Hunt in the pits, I sort of knew that I was going to be there and thereabouts, but to have Ash on the outside going through paddock, I thought we was going to collide. But yeah, I just wanted to get some points after race 1 error. I'm looking forward to Silverstone.
Well, you got Brands out of the way, and Silverstone, of course, a very different racetrack. This one with, got some twists and turns and undulations. Silverstone, it's fast. It is flat as a pancake, but still going to produce some great racing. How much have you learned, especially with round number 2, and also the pit stops that you can translate into Silverstone in just 6 days' time and 23 hours?
Yeah, I think Silverstone's going to play another big part. First race is sort of similar, but these second races, you're going to see people, different names, and everyone in all different positions throughout the season, just trying to get the pit stops right. But yeah, we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Palmer coming home 3rd place here today in the second of today's races. We'll skip on down the field just a little bit. We'll get ourselves a chat with Robert Fagg. He came home in P number 6. And well, Rob, you are right there in the action.
Yeah, unfortunately, I took on too much fuel. It's held me up in the pitch a little bit. I took on 6.5 rather than the risky strategy that Ben did. But it was still good fun, good racing, and I took an early pit just to try and avoid the traffic of cars that I was stuck in front, but it didn't really work out.
Well, we talk about the risky strategies and the differences between strategies. Being the first time that we've got pit stops here in the Champions of the Futures World Touring Car Touring Championship, just how much data were you able to gather, not only just for yourself, but what your competitors were doing coming into this race?
I didn't do any practice at all until tonight, so I just relied on the other people telling me what to put in.
Racing like you're finished, but of course, next time out we head over to Silverstone, different racetrack, same story in some way, shape, or form. Looking to get yourself into the top 5 in both the races?
Yeah, top 5, top 10. I'm not as quick at Silverstone. I missed it last season, so it'd be good to race there. But yeah, we'll see how I get on.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Robert Fagg. Paul Smith came home at the rear end of the top 10. And, well, Paul, a top 10 finish in race number 2, 28 seconds behind the race lead. However, had yourself a pretty good run overall. Take us through it.
Yeah, I seemed to gain positions in that second race with the pit stops. I think running in the Spirit of the VLN series has helped me a lot with that. And it was great to get a run. I think I gained about 3 positions in all, so not bad. Other people going out helped me as well. So I gained positions both races, that's the main thing.
Coming home in the 10th place here today. Unfortunately, one driver who didn't do so well is Matthew Bunn, P number 16 in race number 2. It was a tough old time for you after starting towards the front of the field, falling back. A couple of beats and bangs along the way. Take us through it.
Yeah, I thought 16th went too bad. The field's pretty strong. I thought it was normally about second from last. But I was surprised with how I could hold sort of 4th place at the beginning. I had quite a good pace to start with. I knew the guys were going to come past me at some point. I just thought I'd try and keep my pace up and let them through cleanly. And then LSD, I got a few love taps from Ellis Stevens, and that sort of messed me up a bit. I lost about 6 or 7 places.
Well, any love tap from Ellis Stevens is going to mess you up, to be fair. But you get yourself, say, not the result you necessarily would have wanted here for race number 2, but we head ourselves to Silverstone in 1 week's time. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like Silverstone. I'm going to get a lot of practice in, so I think what did it for me this time was I got loads of practice in, so yeah, I'm going to try that again, get my pace up and see how it goes.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Bunn. And finally, we're going to get a chat with... no, we're not going to get a chat with him. I was going to say we're going to get a chat with Mike, but Mike has just suddenly disappeared off into the ether. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is unfortunately all we have time for here today. Don't forget, round number 2 of the championship from Silverstone coming your way in just 1 week's time. Also, this weekend, got ourselves a packed weekend of coverage with the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, the final round of the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series, the Week 13 Eliminator for the Skip Barber 2K World Cup, and then finally the 6 hours of Road Atlanta for the Neo Endurance Series. However, here on RaceSpotTV, this has been a RaceSpotTV presentation of the first round of the 2015 Season 2 Champions of the Futures World Touring Car Championship. Myself, Will Vincent, thank you very much also to Johnny Simon and Alex Simpson. We shall talk to you all next time. Bye bye.